Appelian, and today I want to show you how I stopped going to the pharmacy by growing this small medicinal garden. I'm also going to reveal how over 35,156 Americans who've already planted one in their backyard are now making the remedies they need for free, without chemicals and unwanted side effects. Most importantly, I'll show you how you can do the same and get your own natural medicine from plants, even if you have a very small backyard or no backyard at all. In this short video, I'll share with you the 10 most powerful medicinal plants you need in your backyard. These are the little-known healing plants that every American should grow near their house and turn them into remedies like the pain-killing tincture, nature's disinfecting bandage, the anti-migraine elixir, the stomach tea, a deep sleep potion, the heartburn and acid reflux cold infusion, the anti-anxiety tincture, the joint and muscle pain reliever, the hair growth serum, and 58 more forgotten backyard remedies. Just imagine stepping out into your own backyard and picking the medicinal plants and herbs you need, taking them into your kitchen, and then turning them into the remedies you need for whatever ails you or a loved one. Medicinal plants are usually wild plants, so they're tough. You don't need to take care of them much at all. You can plant them once, and you can forget about them until it's time to use them. These are all flowering plants that are really beautiful and will add a splash of color to your backyard. Or, if you want to be the envy of the neighborhood, just plant them in your front yard. We often don't realize how important medicine is until we don't have access to it anymore. In times of crisis, conventional medicine will vanish as pharmacies get looted. But with this medicinal garden, you'll always have a natural and safe alternative within easy reach. This medicinal garden is easy to grow and easy to use, on one condition. In the next 5 minutes, I'm going to reveal what is probably the single most important thing about growing your own backyard pharmacy. I'm talking about where to find the best seeds that will sprout plants with the highest level of active medicinal substances. Such seeds are rare and highly prized today, especially if they're also adapted to your local climate. It's not easy to get them, especially at this time of year, but I've already done all the digging for you. And with this kind of seed, you only plant them once and have a lifelong natural pharmacy. But first, allow me to tell you a little bit about who I am and why you might want to listen to what I have to say. I'm an herbalist with a degree in biology, and I've been studying plants and natural remedies for over 25 years. You may already know me from Alone, the popular TV show on the History Channel. As one of the first female contestants, I managed to survive for 57 days straight in the wilds of Vancouver Island, with little more than my knife and the plants I found growing there. But few people know I did all of that while suffering from multiple sclerosis, an autoimmune condition that slowly makes you lose control over your own body until you're bedbound and completely dependent on others. But for me, things turned out a little differently, all because I decided to give a more natural approach a try. I was diagnosed with MS in early 2000, and things went down for me very quickly after that. From being this vibrant young woman ready to explore the world, I soon had trouble walking without help, and I'd spend many days bedbound. I had almost no strength left in my legs, and a constant needle-like pain haunted my days and nights. Being in such agonizing and constant pain, I did what anyone would do. I listened to my doctors. They just did what they knew best. They gave me drugs, and then they gave me more drugs to counteract the side effects for the first drugs. I was on drugs to lower my immunity, drugs to combat muscle spasms, drugs to combat fatigue, drugs to sleep, drugs for depression, and so on. Every single day, I was taking all these prescriptions and just kept getting sicker and sicker. And if you've ever had a similar experience, or if you're struggling right now, my story just might help you out. Flash forward to 2002. I'd quit my job as a biology teacher. I was using a cane during the day and a wheelchair on most nights. My left side simply didn't work, and sometimes a book was too heavy for me to lift. My concentration and memory were shot, and I was a pale shadow of my former self. I'd been this healthy woman, just 30 years old, and everything was slowly being stripped away. I felt completely hopeless, and I didn't see a way out. But then, one morning, everything changed. I don't know what it was, but I woke up with this fierce determination that I wasn't ready to give up. I wanted to become a mother, and for that, I would need to restore my health. Whatever my neurologist was prescribing wasn't going to do it. In all the years of seeing him, he never once discussed any alternative therapies, even as my condition got progressively worse. He didn't once ask me about my diet or my lifestyle, but I wasn't going to leave any stone unturned. I tried acupuncture, massages, homeopathy, an anti-inflammatory diet, stress management, and many other alternative therapies. They all helped, but it was natural remedies made from plants and mushrooms that really turned things around for me. And to this day, I use these backyard remedies to stay healthy. I haven't cured my MS, and really nothing can do that, to the best of my knowledge. But it almost feels like I did, because it hasn't bothered me in a very long time. It was one of those moments in life that just felt like a miracle. That thing you've been told could never happen, and then it does. Unfortunately, most people try natural remedies and then quickly conclude that they don't work, soon going back to their old ways. And it's such a shame, because it's not that natural remedies don't work. The problem is they're using commercially grown plants to make them. These plants are almost depleted of medicinal substances. With many harvests each year, commercial plants don't have the time to extract the good nutrients they need to convert them into medicinal compounds. What they do absorb in abundance are the chemical fertilizers, herbicides, and pesticides they're being sprayed with. So when you make a tea or some other remedy with them, it's those harmful substances that you get a lot of. Even plants labeled as organic are sprayed, but with less dangerous substances. On top of that, many plants have many varieties. Unsurprisingly, industrial farms use the variety with the highest yield instead of the one with the most medicine. They usually turn to genetically modified seeds that will ultimately fetch more money. Just look at these two pictures. On the left is a field of mass-produced lavender. On the right, you can see lavender growing wild. They don't even look like the same plant anymore. Have you ever noticed how many pollinators abound near the flowers of healthy, non-sprayed plants? You'll never see that on an industrial medicinal farm operation, because just like cats don't eat bad food, so too insects don't go near adulterated plants. They know better. So why would we? The only way to make sure you have the right variety of a medicinal plant, free of any contaminants and full of medicinal substances, is to grow it yourself. And there's another reason why you should do that. Dried plants don't go bad, but their medicinal compounds do degrade over time. The older they are, the less potent these plants become. Herbs you buy online or in herbal shops may already be months or many years old. You just never know. Many medicinal plants come from other continents and take a long time to get here. Then they linger even longer in a US warehouse or store. Once you receive them, you might not even use them immediately. So by the time you get around to making a remedy, it may hardly help you more than a placebo. On the other hand, a medicinal plant growing in your backyard can be turned into a remedy right after harvesting, preserving its full potency. Many commercially grown medicinal plants end up in the supplement industry, and here is something even worse. A federal investigation tested plant supplements sold at Walgreens, Walmart, GNC, and Target. They determined that as few as 21% actually contain the plants listed on the label. In Walmart, it was as low as 4%, prompting the New York Attorney General to declare the old saying, buyer beware, is especially relevant for consumers of herbal supplements. 2 bottles labeled as St. John's wort contain none of the medicinal herb. Instead, the herbal pills in one bottle were made of nothing but rice, and the other one was full of Alexandria senna, a yellow shrub that's a powerful laxative. And this isn't some rare occurrence limited to these chains. It's a widespread problem as the supplement industry remains largely unregulated. The bottom line is this. By purchasing medicinal plants and herbal supplements, you may think you're taking a safer approach to healthcare. But what you're often doing is placing yourself and your loved ones at unnecessary risk. And because of their low potency, you might end up thinking natural remedies don't work and can't help. Thank goodness that's not the case, and I'm living proof of it. There is a better way. It's what ultimately helped me and thousands of others get our health back. And that's to start growing your own backyard pharmacy. I turn to my small backyard pharmacy whenever I'm in pain, catch a cold, or have a fever, and of course, to manage my MS. I haven't stepped foot in a real pharmacy for a very long time. I have all I need here in my backyard for me and my whole family. And so can you. How would you feel next time a loved one is sick, being able to help them using natural remedies you've made yourself? Just like the worst feeling in the world is not being able to help the one you love the most, there's no better feeling than seeing your spouse, your child, or your mother or father get their health back. Instead of watching hopelessly as they suffer, with the right backyard pharmacy, you can do something about it. Maybe you experienced this yourself as a child when your mother or grandmother nursed you back to health. They didn't just sit back and hope for the best. Back in the day, almost every backyard had a small medicinal garden where folks got their painkillers, antibiotics, anti-inflammatories, bandages, fever relievers, and everything else they needed. But to have a medicinal garden that can actually help you, you need the right seeds, the kinds our grandparents used. If you don't, nothing else will matter. These seeds need to check a few boxes. First, they must be non-GMO. As you've already seen, modified plants make for poor medicine. Then they need to be of the right variety, the one that makes plants with the highest concentration of medicinal compounds. You'll also want your seeds to be heirloom, which means you can keep your backyard pharmacy going forever without having to buy new seeds. And you want your medicinal plants to be perennials that live for many years, or self-seeding annuals that die in the winter only to reemerge in the spring. This way, you'll plant them only once and benefit for life. Also, your medicinal plants need to cover a wide range of ailments and need to be the most effective for those ailments. For example, there are several plants with pain-killing properties, but what you want is the most potent one that's also legal to grow. And finally, these seeds need to be adapted to our soil and climate. Unfortunately, most medicinal seeds still come from China or India, and they'll never grow strong or reach their full medicinal potential here. When I started my own medicinal garden 20 years ago, I had a lot of trouble sourcing the right seeds. Many of my initial harvests fell well short of expectations. The plants either didn't have enough medicinal substances or they didn't grow well. Some of them didn't even sprout. But over the years of trial and error and making use of my remedies, I selected the plants that helped me out the most, and I'm sure they can do the same for you. Using my herbal knowledge and my own backyard pharmacy as a starting point, I was finally able to narrow it down to just 10 extremely powerful medicinal plants. Your backyard pharmacy comes inside this kit I've prepped for you. It's called the Medicinal Garden Kit. I made it because I wanted to empower people to take their own health into their own hands, just as I did. Once you open it, you'll find 10 seed packets, each containing hundreds of the highest quality seeds. I've also added a complete planting and remedies making guide next to them, so you can make the most out of your backyard pharmacy. It will give you everything you need to go from seeds to remedies, just like it says on the cover. You'll have detailed planting, growing, and harvesting instructions and over 65 step-by-step recipes to turn them into powerful, natural remedies. Having grown all these plants myself for years now, I've also added precious field tips and quick backyard remedies that you can make in just seconds or minutes. Imagine what it would feel like to step into your backyard a month or two from now and gaze at your new, colorful medicinal garden. It will add a fresh smell that will make your evenings outside even more enjoyable. Your small garden will be teeming with life as plants pull nutrients from the soil and transform them into powerful medicine. This natural medicine will always be there at your fingertips, even if pharmacies and hospitals vanish. No money, no side effects, and absolutely no restrictions. The FDA can't stop you from growing a garden, and while Big Pharma might hate that you do that, it won't be able to do anything about it either. It's so easy that hardly anyone can come up with a good excuse not to. Growing your backyard pharmacy takes just 40 to 80 square feet of space, depending on how close together you place your plants. But you can also grow them in pots inside your house or apartment, in a greenhouse, in a raised bed, or on a garden fence. Most people prefer to start these plants indoors any time of year and then transplant them outside once the weather allows it. Mother Earth has blessed us with everything we need to heal ourselves. As faith in pharmaceuticals is waning, the trust in natural remedies is only getting